Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I kind of wanted to do a tarot reading, but I'm only gonna pull like one or two cards for the overall energy, and then I'm gonna try to tap in and see what messages spirit would have me deliver today. So yeah, I'm gonna just jump into it. Because lately I chose my Moonology cards because I feel like the moon has been real active lately. A lot of like changes with feminine energy, women having changes in their cycles. I wouldn't say issues, but changes in their cycles, because I know that I was aligned with the pink moon, which I think is the waning gibbous. And so now I'm in alignment with the new moon, and I noticed that my period tracker app was a little off. So I'm wanting to tap into these energies to see what's going on. I know for sure that I've been seeing a lot of butterflies, specifically the colors orange and yellow. I've been seeing a lot of orange and yellow butterflies. And I know that butterflies symbolize transformation and things like that, new beginnings. So I'm kind of trying to see what the energies are and what's going on with the collective that I am calling in, because now I am in the midst of manifesting my collective, people that can relate to what I'm going through spiritually. So let's go ahead and tap in. Calling on my guides, my ancestors that are balanced within the light and the dark to guide me in this reading. Guide me to deliver the messages of truth and alignment. Okay. Your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. Okay, let me get one more. Okay. And the end of a tough cycle approaches, and that is the full moon in Capricorn. So that's two Capricorn cards basically back to back. And then the waning moon on the bottom. What do you need to release? So this is what I see, and what I feel is that collectively we have been going through a cycle of choosing ourselves and understanding that spiritual work does not always have a look. Spiritual work is very internal, because I know that for a lot of years that I struggled with not feeling like I look like what spiritual work is supposed to look like, with the crystals and the incense and meditating like this and all that kind of stuff. It was more like crying in my pillow and staying up till 3-4 in the morning, questioning and contemplating everything about my life. It looked a little bit like depression. It looked a little bit like out of nowhere I'm doing a bunch of work, and during that work I'm just in my head. So I came to the realization that spiritual work looks different for everybody, and that 9 times out of 10, if it is that crystally, powdery stuff, is probably not true spiritual work. It can be, you know, once you get to a point and you're good at keeping like consistency with things, so you incorporate the beauty into your spiritual work. But I know as once you're like a beginner, it doesn't always look like that. I have the crystals and the things like that, but I feel like most of my profound experiences and realizations was when I was probably crying into my pillow, or driving in the car, or taking a shower. So very random. But your hard work is paying off. I feel like a lot of people have been doing the spiritual work, especially women, coming to the realization about the systems that we live in and how they affect us, how they affect our children, how they affect our future. I think women are waking up to that, and I feel like that's why there is a collective shift in our menstrual cycles and things like that, because we are now coming into a collective understanding of patriarchy, honestly, and the system that we are in, and that in order for us to have a future, things need to go towards matriarchy and egalitarianism. So I don't want to go into a rant about feminism, because I can, because I'm very passionate about that. And the end of a tough cycle approaches. I feel like the cycle that is ending is the illusions that we have been under. The system that we've been under has been brainwashing us to believe false things, to manifest the reality that they want. So we focus on the things that they put in front of us, and by doing that, we have manifested things in this reality that aren't for our highest good. It's for their good. And so I feel like that cycle is ending because we're entering the age of Aquarius. So consent, I feel like, is going to be the biggest thing moving forward. So everything, I feel like, is out on the table. Like, everything that was hidden, people thought were conspiracy, not true, not real. Now they're finding out that a lot of it is true, is real. Anyway, is real. I don't even want to think about what that sounds like. But anyway, and so now we have to make a conscious choice on what we are going to indulge ourselves in. Because now, the end of the cycle of ignorance, brainwashing, just not knowing is over. Your intuition is heightened, so you know, deep down, you know exactly what's going on, exactly what this system consists of. So now that you know, you're no longer a victim to it. So the cycle of ignorance, brainwashing, illusions, and things like that are ending on every level, on a macro and a microcosmic level. These type of energies are ending. And now we're stepping into a energy of knowing. You know what's going on. You know, if you buy this, what consequences come with that. You know that if you upgrade and buy your cell phone every single year, that you are contributing to the what do you call it? To the, I don't like to use this word, but to the oppression, not destruction. I won't say destruction, but to the oppression of the people in the Congo and the Congolese people, because you know that they are forced to mine coltan for our tech companies in order to build the cell phones, the smart TVs, and things like that. So if we're not being smart about our purchases, we are furthering that problem. So that's what I mean by now, when we make choices, we are aware of what consequences come with those choices that we're making now. We are no longer ignorant and in the dark. The information is out there. So yeah. And to the people who've been doing the work to get out of ignorance and things like that, you're about to see a level up. You're about to see your rewards come in. But what is it that you need to release? There are things in our reality that we have to release due to the fact that we know better now. Because when you know better, you do better. So certain behaviors, certain people that we're around, certain environments that we are in, we know if they're conducive to our highest good at this point now. We know it's no longer an illusion, you know. So there's no longer an excuse. And yeah, and it's time to release that. I was planning to do just a couple cards, but reading tarot and doing oracle cards and things is a passion of mine. That's kind of how I got my start into spirituality, was watching pick-a cards and tarot, and then I felt led to pick up the cards myself, and I feel really connected to them. So, yeah. It's 3 cards flipped over like in my hands, so I'm gonna take them. And on the bottom of the deck, a personal issue reaches resolution. Full moon in Cancer. Let's put that in. Oh, you guys. Doobie scoopy doo. Anyway. Okay. So, the 3 cards that came out. The first one is a new start is coming. Adjustments are required. And nothing will come of this situation. So, let's see. The first one is a new start is coming. A new start is coming. So there's a new beginning. That's why I've been seeing the butterflies and things like that, because it's a transformation. It's a new start. And that's the new moon with this card. So there's a new start coming, but there's certain things that have to be adjusted before this start can begin. So like I said, we're no longer in a point where we live in illusions. Everything, we know what's going on. We know what's behind everything and everyone that's in our space and what their intentions are. We know. So that this card to me kind of goes hand in hand. What do you need to release? And adjustments are required. So you need to make some adjustments before you step into this new cycle, this new version of yourself completely. There's some things you have to release and let go of. To me, I feel like what's coming up for me big is negative thought patterns, negative self-talk. Overthinking. That's what I'm hearing. It's like, it's a lot of it's in the mind. A lot of it's in the mind. And there could be things outside of you that you need to release, but I feel like things outside of you need to be released. It's a reflection of what's on the inside. So there's an internal work that needs to be done. And then when you do that internal work, I think that things that shouldn't be in your life fall away effortlessly. Because when you raise your vibration, certain things cannot exist around you or in your energy anyway. So to me, it's internal. Like, what negative thoughts do you have that constantly replay in your head? What obsessive thoughts do you have that play over and over in your head? That you need to really sit with and get to the basis of, why am I thinking this way? Why do I see myself in that way? Why am I speaking negatively to myself? Because when you do things with intention, then you're able to handle it. So if you're not being intentional about screening and filtering your thoughts, a lot of things can slip through the cracks and can affect your energy in a negative way. And nothing will come from this situation in void of course moon, and then your hard work is paying off. So nothing will come from the negative thinking, the obsessive thoughts, the overthinking. You have to replace those patterns with something positive. So now what I do, because I'm somebody that struggles with overthinking, negative thoughts, things like constant attacks from the enemy because of my light, because of the things that I know, because of the things that I research, the type of person that I am, I constantly receive attacks from the enemy. And it's not just people, it's literally negative forces, negative energies that can attach to you. Because when you're a light, you attract flies, you attract negative energies. It's just what comes with it. And so you have to actively shield yourself from that. You have to actively, when you catch yourself falling into negative thinking, bring yourself up and be like, I am that girl, I am that bitch. Like sometimes you have to be arrogant. to make it through, because you have to counteract these negative energies. So you have to be like, I am beautiful. I am, you know, that girl. I am who I say that I am. Just keep saying I am, I am, I am, I am, that I am, that I am. And you'll start to see a change in your reality when you start to control those thoughts, when you start to monitor what you're thinking to yourself and what you're saying about yourself. It's not about people outside. It's always about what's within, because what's within is also going to be reflected without. And in order to change what's outside of you, you got to change what's within you. And that's one of the hardest lessons I learned, was stop trying to force people to change. Stop trying to force other people to give me what I want and what I'm looking for. I had to start giving that to myself. So if you're seeking more attention, give yourself more attention. Do more facials. Take yourself out. I like to go to the Dollar Tree. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I love to go to the Dollar Tree and give me some cheap ass skincare. Hair clips, like the little bobby pins and things like that. I like to shop on Shein. Give me a cute little outfit, you know, that might be a little extra. And these things all come back to make me feel better about myself. So when I take better care of myself, when I look better, I feel better. And that's personal to me. To you, it might be something else. You might like to buy a new book because when you know more, you feel better. That might be you. And so I'm like, do the things that make you feel good about you. Whether that's get your nails done, get your hair done. If you don't have a lot of money, go to the dollar store. I love the Dollar Tree. Go to the Dollar General, they got a dollar aisle. Something about getting a sale that turns me on. Makes me so happy. But that's just me. It might be something different for you. And yeah, so that's what I feel like is going on with the moon cycles and everybody's period changing. I feel like collectively women are starting to see their worth. They're starting to see who they are, not just on a physical plane level, but on a spiritual level, that we are the bridge between life and death. We are the bridge between non-physical and the physical. Like we are who we think we are. And it's starting to come out on a collective level. Like we really are starting to see our worth, not just as mothers, not just as people, you know, we have babies and we nurture and we take care of children. This is a overall thing. Like I am Mother Earth. You see what I'm saying? I'm not just here to take care of babies. I'm here to take care of all, the good of all. You know, and I think women are starting to see that. Like, I'm not just a mother, I'm every woman. I am the mother. I'm not a mother, I am the mother, the great mother. And that collective of women, when we come together, that is who we are. We are the great mother. When we come together and we're moving on one accord and we all know our worth and we're all tapping in, we become the great mother, because she comes through us. She speaks through us. And so when we start to tap in with Mother Nature, we start to know more about ourselves, that energy, things start getting shaken up. Moon, like the cycles and our periods, we're starting to sync up and things are changing on a collective, massive scale. And I don't think that this is something artificial. I think that this is something spiritual. This is a message from the mother that it's time for us to wake up. It is time for us to claim our power as women, our creation power, and our destructive power. Because before there's any creation, there is destruction. Before a baby is born, it's destroying my coochie. So you gotta think of it that way. You're gonna destroy my coochie, but there's a whole new baby, a whole new life. So that is a part of feminine energy, is that destructive, tear down, renewal energy. That is a part of the mother, that fire, that sacred fire, that is of the mother. And that is what's going to happen. This system is going to have to crash and burn and be destroyed. We cannot build a matriarchy off of a patriarchal system. There's no way. You cannot transform this. We can't transform it, but the transformation is going to come with destruction. You see what I'm saying? We can't just build on top of what is destructive. We have to destroy it first and then lay a new foundation. And we need to all have a spiritual collective foundation. Not meaning we all got to believe in the same thing, but I feel like we should all value life. We should value regeneration. We should value our planet, children, animals, our health and well-being. That has nothing to do with a religion and forcing everybody to believe in a religion. It is just basically having care and understanding for human life and all life on the planet. And that should be in the forefront of every decision that we make collectively. And I think that once we get there, that's how the matriarch begins. Because matriarchy is not women on top. It is egalitarianism. It is understanding that we are all one. Whether you're a man or a woman, whatever you're good at, whatever you're best at, that's what we need to uplift and bring into the collective to help better everybody. I went off on a tangent because I'm so passionate about the matriarchy and egalitarianism and bringing that to the forefront for our future and for the children and for the future of the planet. We need to come together and have some type of value system when it comes to people and when it comes to our planet and when it comes to animals, and have a cutoff and be like, okay, we're going too far. We don't need to mind this. Is it a necessity or is it a want? Is there another way to do this that's regenerative? That is where we need to be at as a collective. So I enjoyed this reading, and I really hope that we can get out of our heads and stop thinking negative and start thinking more positive. Start seeing the beauty in yourself and the world and everything around you, and negate the negativity, because they want you to focus on the negative to bring in their version of what they think the future should be. And that's not what we're going for. We are going for a future that is built on life and regenerative ideas. A living system. That is what we're here for. That is what we are advocating for. That is why women are waking up all around the world, because we know how to keep life going and flowing in alignment with the Great Mother. So I love you, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.